Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm the Mighty MC. Today we're going to talk about my Petrified Fish Viper. So, I have been a critic of petrified fish for a while just because I feel like they make a really quality knife, but they make really boring blades. We have a couple of nice ones like the Havrog and the Scholar, but overall, I just think they make really forgettable blades. So when I saw this one and the blade shape that I really liked, kind of went on an emotional roller coaster with this one.
I went from happy to angry. Skip said, now I feel like kicking his ass.
First up, the blade. I really like this, I guess, leaf-shaped style blade. And this deployment hole is just fantastic. And it's really well done. There are no sharp edges on here, no sharp corners. I've had knives where they leave a sharpened edge, or they don't knock this down right. That can be uncomfortable and annoying. They did really good on this one. It's got a bead blast, stonewash type thing. A nice swedge back here. There's some jimping and a really thin blade actually for one this large, a knife this large. The only billboarding on the whole knife is PFP 13, K110 right up there. If I can get it for you. And that's just the model and the steel, which is my first disappointment, K110 steel. I really wish this would have been 14C28N. K110, if you're not familiar with it, it's not terrible. So I kind of got over that quickly because I do have some of Petrified Fish's K110, and it's not too bad. So I moved on. We do have a nice, classy looking pivot. I like that a lot. These are nice, comfortable crossbars, thumb studs. Those are good. T6s, I would rather see T8s, but not the end of the world. Now, this is really smooth G10. Maybe this is a preference, but I would like, personally, a little more grip on my G10, especially on such a large knife that I'm probably going to use harder. Okay, so on the back, we have a back spacer G10 and a lanyard post, a hidden lanyard post. I personally wouldn't put a lanyard on a knife this size, but everybody's different, right? So there's our reversible wire pocket clip. Man, I don't like wire pocket clips. I always feel these things flexing around in my hand when I grip it good. But whatever. Maybe that's probably another personal preference. Maybe that's not how everybody feels. It is nice and lightweight for such a big knife, and it is a big knife. I'll flash the specs right here. I don't know the size offhand, but I'll do some size comparisons in a moment so we can see that better also. It is pretty lightweight because the blade's so thin for one reason. And the other thing is, if you can see right there, we have a very partial liner right in here that just comes down a little bit past this screw. So that does contribute to it being so lightweight, which is nice on a knife this size. If this were full weight with like full shown liners, this thing would be a beast. The other thing is, before we get into it, it is a 3-position adjustable crossbar lock. Now, I am hoping mine is not set on the tightest because I would like a little more resistance than this. But before I talk too much smack, I'm not sure what it's set on out of the factory. Probably the middle, I'm assuming. So I might have one more level of resistance to go up. It's not bad. The action's not bad. Again, this is comfortable. The higher I go on it, the better I do. It fires open nicely. It closes nicely. No problems. It is a crossbar lock. So, as you know, if you're familiar with crossbar locks, they do have lighter blade retention in the closed position. So I can put my hands here and here and just flick it open. I don't like to deploy my knives that way. You might. It is a cool trick for non-knife people to see one time, but it's just not the way I use it. But you can do it. It's available if you want it. I can thumb flick it really nicely. I can reverse flick it really nicely. Of course, I've got the crossbar that works really nicely. All those things work really well. So my biggest complaint, I got over the K110, right? Is just the size. For me, for an EDC, the size of this thing is the absolute deal breaker. So here it is next to the Vosteed Raccoon cleaver blade. It's a much bigger knife. It's a longer knife, which is one thing, but it's also a lot taller. So if we put them next to each other, like they would be in the pocket, that's what you're going to get. That's quite a bit of real estate in the pocket. Okay. Next, we'll do the QSP Penguin. This is about the perfect EDC size for me. I do like the Vossied Raccoon. I'll get him back in here too. He's a little bigger than I normally carry, but not much. I would carry this. I don't have a problem with that. QSP Penguin's about the perfect EDC size for me. Maybe a 1/4 inch more. So as you can see, this guy's a big honking knife. And now we'll get a real appreciation for it with the Ontario Rat 1. Now, the Rat 1 is longer, obviously, and much heavier, but because you've got showing liners, you've got full liners, you've got a much thicker blade stock. But again, if I look at these two, the way they would sit in my pocket, you're going to see quite a difference in how that's going to look. Just the height of this one. We're in Spyderco territory. I don't think I have a Spyderco out here. Again, the action's nice. I have no complaints there. We have no side-to-side blade play. We have no pivot rock right there. It was centered really nicely. Let's look at that. No problems there. It came plenty sharp. I didn't mind that. My only real deal breaker for me to carry it is the size. I think if this would have been 14C 28N and gotten closer to the 7.5 or 7 3/4 range, this might have been a budget carry of the year candidate for me, because I do love that blade shape. And it is comfortable. The ergos are good. I have a nice wide hand from here to here, and I can get a full 4-finger grip. And I have a little bit here, I have a little bit here. The only bad thing, again, I do feel that guy flexing in my hand. But that's almost all of them. Maybe it's the way my hand is shaped, and nobody else has that problem. If you can get over the K110 steel, which, like I said, I did. They do a good job with it. I've had the Flavorist for 2 years plus, and I've carried it plenty, and I've never had an issue with it. So the main thing is the size. If you want a big knife, and I mean a big knife, guys, again, I'll flash the specs here, but this guy is a brute. He's not heavy. He's tall, and he's long. And I don't know, I know for me, that's not an EDC size knife, okay? Like I said, these are the guys. I've carried this one like twice. It's too much in my pocket. I don't like it. I have carried both of these. They're both a fine size for me. The slimmer profile on this one helps a lot. I did have a big lighter up here that I was using, and now my wife probably stole it. So anyway, that's gone. Oh, no, hold on 1 second. I got it. Last thing, I'll get you out of here. Here is a standard size Bic lighter. Try to do a common household item. So let's go right there. So this guy's like 2.5 Bic lighters long. So that's quite a big blade, big knife, okay? So anyway, this is the Viper. There are 3 variants. There's a black and black, there's this green and stonewashed, and there's a gray. Now, I don't know for sure about the gray, but be careful. Make sure the gray is not a gray PVD coating, if that's what you want. I got fooled like that on the Vossied Porcupine. Not fooled, I just didn't pay attention, and that's my fault. I shouldn't say fooled, they didn't scam me. But make sure you want a gray PVD. I'm not sure if it is or isn't, but just pay attention. If you get that gray handle, this might be a gray PVD also. Anyway, you guys, I am the Mighty MC. This is the Petrified Fish Viper, and I will see you next time.